Recap. Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, Chapter 985. Chapter Vari. On the windswept heights of the mountain, where clouds drifted like wandering spirits and the arena clung to the cliffside like a blade embedded in stone, tension coiled in the air like a drawn bowstring. Zhao Lun's voice cut through the stillness, edged with impatience. Shaiyuan, since when did you become so slow to act? Shaiyuan only laughed, his voice booming like distant thunder rolling across the peaks. Why rush? Watch carefully. The answer will reveal itself soon enough. Zhao Lun snorted, displeasure flickering across his face. Though he stood among the consummate level elites, he was younger than Shaiyuan by several centuries. Shaiyuan had already reached the peak of that realm, while Zhao Lun had only just stepped into it. Between them lay a gap of 3 subminor levels, a difference not easily ignored. If blades were drawn, Zhao Lun believed he could hold his ground. Hidden techniques lay in his grasp, waiting to be unleashed. Yet he also knew, just as he did not fear Shaiyuan, Shaiyuan did not fear him. Thus, he swallowed his irritation with a cold snort. Were it not for the circumstances, a petty man like him would have long schemed to undermine Shaiyuan. Far below, halfway up the mountain, the arena stood silent. Ling Han stepped onto the stone platform, his figure calm and composed. Half a year ago, he had stood here and crossed blades with Luo Ba. Who would have imagined that fate would bring him back so soon? Once more to a life-and-death duel. Across from him, Bai Yuanxi was already waiting. The man sat cross-legged, unmoving, like an ancient statue carved from stone. No trace of impatience marred his expression. For an elite of his caliber, maintaining such composure for hours, or even days, was nothing worth mentioning. Ling Han halted 30 meters away. Bai Yuanxi slowly opened his eyes. In that instant, it was as if lightning split the heavens, his gaze sharp and blinding, carrying a pressure that made the air tremble. As expected of someone at the high extreme, Ling Han thought, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Even a glance holds such terrifying force. I see you've arrived, Bai Yuanxi said calmly. I have, Ling Han replied, his tone just as steady. Bai Yuanxi's gaze swept over him, lingering for a moment before he spoke again. You've broken through to the medium extreme in such a short time. That is commendable. Ling Han waved the praise aside with casual indifference. It's nothing worth mentioning. Bai Yuanxi paused briefly, then continued, his voice turning cold. My young master still lacks one more obedient dog. If you kneel now and submit, I may yet spare your life. Ling Han's eyes sharpened, his smile turning into a cold sneer. You may choose to crawl as a dog, but do not drag others down into the mud with you. Your bones reek of servitude. You are rotten to the core. How dare you? Bai Yuanxi roared. Kuang! The sound erupted like a thunderclap, sending invisible shockwaves rippling outward. Several spectators staggered as blood seeped from their ears, their expressions turning pale with horror. Such was the power contained within a single shout. Bai Yuanxi's eyes turned icy as he fixed his gaze on Ling Han. Since you refuse to kneel, then die. Ling Han raised a finger, pointing straight at him. Originally, I intended to spare your life, but since you insist on courting death, I will no longer hold back. You speak only empty words. Bai Yuanxi shot forward. He did not draw a weapon. His right hand extended, palm open. Upon it, 9 intertwining divine patterns glowed faintly, twisting together like coiling dragons. With overwhelming confidence, he pressed forward, intending to crush Ling Han outright. After all, his cultivation far surpassed his opponent's. Why would he need anything more? Ling Han's lips curved into a faint smile. Shoo! He leaped forward as well, his figure slicing through the air. The distance between them vanished in an instant. Peng! A burst of divine light exploded between them as Bai Yuanxi's palm slammed into Ling Han's chest. Ripples spread through the air, distorting space itself. Bai Yuanxi's expression filled with pride. That strike should have shattered Ling Han into pieces, reduced him to nothing. But the next moment, that pride froze. His eyes widened in disbelief. Ling Han stood there, completely unharmed, and smiling. Impossible! Bai Yuanxi's thoughts trembled. Am I seeing illusions? He had no time to dwell on it. Instinct screamed danger. He immediately retreated, his figure shooting backward. Something was terribly wrong. And in that fleeting instant, Ling Han's arm moved. A net shot forth. Under normal circumstances, Bai Yuanxi would never have fallen prey to such a simple attack, but they were too close, far too close. and his mind had been momentarily shaken by the impossible sight before him. The net unfurled in midair, spreading wide like a crimson web. In the blink of an eye, it ensnared him completely. Though startled, Bai Yuanxi did not panic. He had followed Zhao Lun through ancient ruins, braved countless dangers, and faced death more times than most. To remain calm in the face of crisis, this was the bare minimum for someone like him. Chiang. His sword left its sheath. The blade sang, a clear, resonant note as radiant swordlight erupted, slicing through the air like a celestial melody. But before he could fully react, "Goodbye," Ling Han said softly. A bow appeared in his hands. In one smooth motion, he drew it taut and knocked the ultimate arrow. He would not give his opponent even the slightest chance. Today, one of Zhao Lun's strongest followers would fall. In that instant, Bai Yuanxi's scalp tingled violently. A deadly premonition surged through his heart. He tried to mobilize his full power, but his expression changed drastically. His origin power was suppressed. At most, he could only exert strength equivalent to the middle stage of the medium extreme. What kind of treasure is this net? The thought flashed through his mind, but there was no time left. The arrow was already aimed at his head. It seemed like a weapon forged by heaven and earth itself, a harbinger of death. Cold sweat gathered in Bai Yuanxi's palms. Ling Han released the string. Shua! The arrow shot forth, a streak of blinding brilliance tearing through the air. Pooh! It pierced straight through Bai Yuanxi's skull. The force carried it out the other side, leaving only a few drops of blood staining the fletching. Pa! His head exploded. An instant kill. Silence fell over the entire mountain. No one spoke. No one even dared to breathe too loudly. Who could have imagined this outcome? Ling Han had not only defeated Bai Yuanxi, he had annihilated him in a single strike. Had the result been reversed, no one would have been surprised. Bai Yuanxi possessed that level of strength. But now, the impossible had become reality. The difference between them was clear, a gap of 5 sub-minor levels. And Bai Yuanxi himself was close to a 3-star genius. The disparity between them was at least 7 stars. Yet Ling Han had crossed that impossible chasm and slain him in one blow. Unbelievable. At the peak of the mountain, Zhao Lun's face darkened instantly. He did not care for Bai Yuanxi's life. To him, the man was nothing more than a loyal hound. If one died, another could easily be found. But this was different. To kill his subordinate before his very eyes, where was his dignity to be placed? I remember now. That's the Crimson Ground locking net. What net? The Crimson Ground locking net. It suppresses a person's cultivation by an entire minor level once they're trapped. Realization dawned upon the crowd. So that was it. With his strength reduced by a minor level, Bai Yuanxi's peak battle power had dropped to the medium extreme. Under such conditions, Ling Han's victory, though still shocking, became possible. Humph. Zhao Lun leaped down from the mountain peak. He landed beside Bai Yuanxi's corpse, his gaze icy as it locked onto Ling Han. You killed him? He asked coldly. Ling Han stood firm despite the exhaustion draining his body after releasing the ultimate arrow. His voice remained steady. If you're not blind, you should be able to see that clearly. A collective gasp rose from the spectators. This was Zhao Lun, the #1 prodigy of Scarlet Heaven Academy, the sole heir of great General Zhao, and Ling Han was speaking to him without the slightest trace of fear. Zhao Lun's face darkened further. Since you've killed my subordinate, there is nothing left to discuss. Kneel and take your own life. How domineering! Ling Han threw his head back and laughed loudly. Young Master Zhao, have you lost your mind? Are your subordinates untouchable? This was a fair duel. I killed him without breaking any rules. Even if the Empress herself questioned me, my conscience would remain clear. Humph! You killed my subordinate. That alone is reason enough for your death. Zhao Lun's brows furrowed as a terrifying aura surged from his body. Idiot! Ling Han sneered. He prepared to retrieve the Crimson Ground locking net and leave. But Shua Zhao Lun struck. A single palm descended. He was a consummate level expert, a 4-star genius. The sheer force behind his attack was monstrous beyond words. And Ling Han was at his weakest. Peng! The strike landed. Ling Han was blasted away, his body flying through the air like a broken leaf. Still alive? Zhao Lun's expression flickered with surprise as he looked at Ling Han, who struggled to his feet, blood seeping from the corners of his mouth. The wind above the academy grounds carried a chill that no one could quite explain, as though even the heavens themselves had begun to watch this clash with bated breath. Moments earlier, Zhao Lun's palm had struck like a descending mountain, yet what followed defied all reason. That strike had not been his full strength. True. But even a casual blow from a consummate level expert like him should have crushed a mere medium extreme cultivator like dry leaves beneath a storm. When the world spoke of star geniuses, they spoke of their overwhelming destructive force, their ability to shatter mountains and split rivers, not their ability to endure. And yet, Ling Han stood. Blood seeped faintly from the corner of his lips, but that was all. No shattered bones. No collapsed body. No sign of destruction befitting such a blow. Shock rippled through the crowd like a silent tide. Even if Ling Han truly was a legendary five-star genius, his defensive power should have barely reached the early stage of the medium extreme. By all logic, he should have been torn apart. But reality stood before them, unyielding and impossible. Zhao Lun's eyes flickered. In that instant, a memory surfaced. Just moments ago, Bai Yuanxi had struck Ling Han, and Ling Han had emerged completely unharmed. Yet the sheer shock of Bai Yuanxi's instant death afterward had swallowed that detail whole. Now, that forgotten scene returned like a ghost. A thought pierced Zhao Lun's mind. Could it be that this man's body was forged like divine metal? The idea was absurd, and yet terrifyingly plausible. But Zhao Lun did not hesitate. His hand moved again, his palm tearing through the air with lethal precision as he launched a second strike. Even if Ling Han's body was extraordinary, it had already been proven. He could bleed. And anything that could bleed could be killed. Ling Han's figure flickered as he retreated rapidly, his movements sharp yet restrained. There was something he could use to escape, a secret so profound that it could overturn heaven and earth, but he would not reveal it. Not here, not before this ocean of watching eyes. Moments earlier, he had unleashed an ultimate arrow, draining his strength to the brink. Now his power had yet to recover. At this moment, even a shattering void-tier cultivator would be a threat. Let alone Zhao Lun. Zhao Lun's lips curled into a cold sneer. "You think you can escape?" he said, his voice echoing like iron striking stone. "Once I set my sights on someone, there is no path of retreat." His palm surged forward once more, unstoppable. It struck Ling Han squarely in the chest. Ling Han's body was hurled through the air like a broken kite, crashing violently as the world seemed to spin around him. Inside, his organs churned as though caught in a storm. Pain surged through every inch of his being. And yet, within that chaos, something unexpected stirred: his origin power, his stamina. They were recovering, rapidly, far faster than they ever should. A realization flickered through his mind. 30 minutes. At most, 30 minutes, and he would return to his peak. His stamina recovering quickly made sense. But his origin power, why was it surging back with such speed? That change had only appeared after he stepped into the medium extreme. And then, a thought struck him like lightning. The universal 8 desolation technique. He had recultivated it. Was this its effect? Or perhaps, before, he had stood at the mountain river tier without ever cultivating an immortal level technique. Now, everything had changed. The arrow he had unleashed within the flame cave had reshaped him entirely. Body, power, even the very foundation of his cultivation. Was it that transformation? Or the fusion of all these factors together? Ling Han could not say. Only one truth remained. He was changing, becoming something beyond what he had once been. Peng! His body slammed into the ground, dust rising in a violent burst. Blood trickled once more from his lips. Within him, his godly bones groaned, creaking under immense pressure, as though they stood at the edge of fracture. Zhao Lun was no ordinary cultivator. Though he stood at the consummate level, his battle prowess exceeded his realm by 4 full stars. Even Ling Han's body, tempered to rival level 3 godly metal, could not escape injury under such force. And yet, the crowd was on the verge of losing their minds. A medium extreme cultivator, taking 2 direct strikes from Zhao Lun, and only bleeding slightly? This was no longer shocking. This was monstrous. Zhao Lun's eyes grew colder with each step he took forward. So what if Ling Han's body was strong? Strength alone would not save him. Today, he would die. "Zhao Lun, that's enough." A voice rang out, clear, sharp, defiant. Li Weiwei stepped forward, her figure standing boldly between them. Her gaze burned with fury. "He's my man," she declared without hesitation. "I won't allow you to touch him again." Zhao Lun did not stop, not even for a heartbeat. "If he were your husband," Zhao Lun replied coldly, "I might give you face." His eyes flicked toward Ling Han with disdain. "But he's nothing more than your dog, and my subordinate was killed by him. It is only right that he pays with his life." "Bullshit!" Li Weiwei exploded, her temper igniting like wildfire. Raised in privilege, she had never been spoken to like this, never been dismissed so completely. Her finger shot out, pointing straight at Zhao Lun. It was a fair duel. Bai Yuanxi was stronger. He was a whole minor level above Ling Han. If anything, Ling Han was the one at a disadvantage. But Zhao Lun's expression did not change. "I don't care," he said flatly. "All I saw was my man being killed by this dog. If I don't avenge him, my followers will lose faith in me." It was not reason. It was authority. The authority of power, of status, of lineage. As the son of a great general, Zhao Lun needed only an excuse, no matter how thin, to kill. The Academy's laws, the Empire's rules, they would bend. At worst, he would disappear for a few years and return untouched. Li Weiwei's voice trembled with rage. "I don't care either. If you want to kill him, then you'll have to step over my corpse first." Zhao Lun's lips curved slightly. "Fourth, young miss, you think too highly of yourself." His finger moved, a simple gesture. Pooh. A streak of light shot forward, piercing into Li Weiwei's body. She froze instantly. Unable to move, unable to speak. Her defiance silenced in a breath. A smile spread slowly across Zhao Lun's face as he turned back toward Ling Han. "You think I can't kill you in the academy?" he said softly. "You're wrong. I simply never considered you worth the effort. But you refused to become my dog. And then you killed my subordinate." His voice turned cold as winter. "You're courting death." Ling Han pushed himself up slightly, his eyes calm despite the blood staining his lips. "Zhao Lun," he said, his tone carrying quiet disdain, "you only stand above me because you've cultivated a few years longer. If we were the same age, if we stood at the same level, I would suppress you with a single hand." Silence. Then a collective gasp swept through the crowd. This was madness. If Ling Han had begged, if he had knelt, perhaps Zhao Lun might have spared him. But instead, he provoked him further, pushed him, challenged him. Yet, as the words settled, something strange stirred in the minds of the onlookers. What had Zhao Lun been like at Ling Han's age? At 20? He had only just reached the shattering void tier. Even with his monstrous talent, he had only reached the low extreme of the mountain river tier before turning 50. Compared to Ling Han, the gap was undeniable. Zhao Lun let out a cold chuckle. "And what are you?" he sneered. "Worthy of comparing yourself to me." Pang! Another strike. Ling Han's body was sent flying once more. Time passed. More than enough time for the Academy to notice. And yet, no elder came. No authority intervened. Zhao Lun rampaged unchecked. Any Sun-Moon tier cultivator could suppress him effortlessly. Even a 5-star genius could not cross the boundary of an entire cultivation tier. So why did no one act? A chill spread through the crowd. If Ling Han could be treated like this today, who would be next tomorrow? They stood among tens of thousands, and yet not one stepped forward. Fear gripped them, tightly. "Stop!" A voice cut through the tension like a blade of light. All eyes turned. A figure approached swiftly through the air, graceful, radiant. Gu Lingyu. Recognition spread instantly. One of the 3 beauties. She knows Ling Han too? 2 of the 3 beauties are standing up for him? What kind of fortune is this? Murmurs erupted. Disbelief etched across countless faces. Zhao Lun's expression darkened further. He did not care that she was from the Alchemy Institution. No, what enraged him was this. Why? Why did so many breathtaking women stand for Ling Han? Was Shui Yanyu blind? He, Zhao Lun, the only son of a great general, a prodigy praised as unmatched in 1,000 years, handsome, powerful, destined for greatness. And yet, no beauty clung to him. No admiration like this ever came his way. And now, he was being overshadowed by an ant from a small world. His heart burned, jealousy twisted into fury, fury into killing intent. And in that moment, the killing intent around Zhao Lun surged like a rising tide, threatening to swallow everything in its path.